Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. Today, we're going to be asking the question, do wealthy Black athletes owe an oath of loyalty to the community when choosing a wife? Do they really? Or, really are pro-bound brothers ignoring Black women or simply cleaving to the best available choice? The NFL draft, was last week, and a lot of people noticed the fact, just like in all drafts, that the brothers who are up and coming have a lot of snow bunnies on their arms. So whose fault is that? Or is there a fault at all? Is it just natural selection? So one of the things that people say is that proximity is the key factor here. And then there's some other folks gaslighting the brothers and saying now that they've made it, they just want to go ahead and go across the aisle. I think that's projection. I think that's opinion. And I think that sisters pretty much don't want to compete at that level. And I'll go into some of those details myself. But first, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell. And a sister who put this out, her channel is Wild Heart Waves. I'd never heard of her before, but I've seen it come across my timeline, and it's a pretty good video. So I think I'm gonna put her full video in my description, and you can go hear her whole explanation of what's going on from her perspective. And she does an excellent job of talking about redlining and proximity and things of that nature. Where I would disagree with her and would like to debate one day is when she starts talking about or gaslighting Black men. And because it sounds more like a projection, because there's no shortage of Black women who make money, who leave the Black community and cleave to white men, zaddy, their savior, the love of their lives. So all I can say is this is a debate that's going to be raging on that one. But I got a couple of clips from the video. The first part of her clip is Umar Johnson levying his heavy-handed opinion of what Black men should do with their money, where he has two baby mamas. He didn't marry either one of them. I would assume and I hope he gave those girls, his daughters, his last name, so they're legitimate. And he should be called to the carpet on why he didn't marry those women, or one of them at least. It's hard to preach from the mountaintop when you got, all kinds of splinters in your own eye. And then the sister comes on later on and she gives this excellent discussion about redlining. And then she goes into gaslighting the Black men and as if they were guilty of some kind of crime. That's my opinion against her opinion. But it's still, all in all, it's a good video. So I would say go check her out, subscribe to her channel, and do whatever you have. I just don't agree with her complete explanation. But that's okay, because she's talking about Black men, which I happen to be one. And so, I try to say, listen, you got to tread lightly when talking about the brothers. We've been oppressed. I think we should love who we want to love and who wants to love us back. And as far as I'm concerned, when a Black man has a baby with any kind of woman, that kid's Black, period. But anyway, that's my thought. But I'm going to start playing these clips, so bear with me. And, oh, by the way, just to be clear, I'm not a divester. I married a Black woman, so that's I married a Black woman. So there you go. So we're gonna start playing the clips. The first person you're gonna hear is Umar Johnson, and it's his his way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. Let me find it. Okay. There you go. Fair use.
The economic treason that takes place whenever a black man, especially an educated black man, an economically comfortable black man, decides to abandon the black woman for a white woman, he takes with him not only his heart, but he takes his savings, he takes his education, he takes his financial opportunities, he takes his checkbook with him. Let us be honest that marriage at its very foundation is a financial relationship. Anyone who doesn't believe that only need go to divorce court and see how many people are arguing over the love that they gave the other person during the marriage. In divorce court, love is never a focus. You're focusing on assets. You're focusing on savings. You're focusing on retirement. And the black woman and the black community loses out on all of that whenever a black man decides to seek a white woman's hand in marriage. You're taking from a people who don't have enough, and you're taking it to another people who have already stolen so much. And what makes it even more insulting is the opportunities that put you in that economic position to be able to get married and take care of a family came from black people who died, who suffered, who struggled, who sacrificed for us to be in this position today. And for me to take my education and my income over to the white woman when there's so many black women who need it cannot be interpreted as anything other than economic betrayal.
Hi, everyone.
All right. So there you go. You heard Umar Johnson. Listen, is he completely wrong? No. But does he have the right to tell another man what to do with his money? Absolutely not. Does he have a right to tell a man what to do with his heart? Absolutely not. I think there's enough evidence that the reason why the Snow Bunnies are winning at the starting line during the draft, when these guys have gone through college, gone through proving themselves worthy of the pros, is that they're doing something that sisters don't want to do. And the proximity argument is not enough, because you can't have it both ways, right? Because black women will tell you they're the most enrolled in college. It's not just HBCUs. They go to PWIs, but they're not willing to do what it takes to endear themselves to these black men, because they've been told by their mothers, most likely single mothers, that cleaving to a man so young is the wrong thing to do. This is a self-inflicted wound with black women, right? So they're not just not marrying or engaging themselves to the athletes. There's engineers in college that are black. They're not marrying them either. There's business leaders that are black. They're not cleaving to them either. They've been told that in their 20s, they should take as much penis as they possibly can. And when they're worn out, filled with trauma, somewhere in the 30s, that a man will come in and save them. That's what they're being told. And that narrative needs to change, not from black men, not from us only, but from black women, their mothers, their grandmothers. So that's why the Snow Bunnies are winning with the black guys. No, so I got another clip from this lady, and she sounds good, because this redlining discussion is pretty informative, and the explanation of proximity is actually accurate. Okay, but the world is the oyster. The world has gotten small, not just for black men and for black women and for everybody else. So the proximity argument is not as strong as it used to be, because we're all intermingled now, and you have to compete for what you want. And sisters are not willing to compete. Not all of them. They're waiting for the finish line after they've been ran through, after they've been traumatized, after they have a couple of babies and all that kind of stuff. Now they want somebody to come in and save them. And that shit just ain't going to happen. Not the way they want it to happen. Stepdaddy season has been over in the boomer and the X generations. That's when the stepdaddies were respected. They ain't respected that same way anymore. So if you want these multi-million-dollar men to come wife you up, you got to be there in the beginning. not at the end. And you know what? Legacy and community be damned. They don't owe the community anything. They need to be happy. They need to be loved. They need to be respected. So here's the next clip, and I think it's a pretty good explanation of redlining, and then we get into the gaslighting after that. So actually this is a good video, by the way. I just don't agree with all the stuff that's being said.
NFL draft with his Danish girlfriend, Alina Thurgood. And if this was an isolated incident, we wouldn't even have had this conversation. However, Black men have been doing this since racial barriers were lifted from professional sports. Now, the majority of Black people have always stayed in close community with one another due to redlining. In the early 1930s, the federal government created redlining maps for almost every major city in response to the housing shortage. Redlining was primarily designed to provide housing to middle and upper class white families. African Americans and other people of color were left out of the new suburban communities and instead pushed into urban housing projects. And the justification was that if Blacks bought homes in these suburbs, the property value of the homes would drastically decline. No one would want to move into these communities. Therefore, these home loans would be at risk, which is why the majority of housing projects in major cities are almost always grouped in close proximity to one another and near their respective downtown. Black families had two options. Number one, a housing project, or number two, if you had enough money, you could buy a home within the red line. Anything outside of the red line was a no-go, and realtors could not sell a home to you outside of this area. It wasn't until gentrification that suburban white folks decided that the commute an hour or so away to go downtown to work these corporate jobs or watch their favorite home sports team was too taxing and not efficient enough, and they wanted to move back into the inner city, which is now causing many Black people who once settled into these different communities in the inner city to be priced out. Gentrification 101. And the reason why all of this is important is because the red line is one of the reasons that Black people have always lived amongst each other. And while it is overly obvious that Black people have grown up in all types of neighborhoods, the majority of the time, the person that you go to church with, stay next to, go to school with will look exactly like you. Now, with this visual in place, tell me the last time you've seen an educated or suburban white woman walking down the block with her low-income African-American boyfriend within the red line. But as soon as these same men touch success, touch notoriety, touch wealth, whether that's an engineer at Google making $350,000 a year or an NFL player signing his rookie contract for $38 million. And as much as they try to push this rhetoric that Black women are gold diggers and that they only want men once they achieve success, show me a collective of white women who are staying down in the paint. These suburban bunnies come out of the woodwork searching for carrots just like anyone else, literally and figuratively. They are not volunteering for struggle love on Slauson Avenue in LA, the Pork and Bean Projects in Miami, Bankhead in Atlanta, Georgia, and Brownsville in Brooklyn. Please show me the droves of suburban white women that cannot wait to settle down with Dusties or live a comfortable life with an average Black man. Come get the—
All right, so let me stop it right there because there's a lot of gaslighting going on. All right, listen, when these guys are in college, these white women make themselves available to them. And I have a clip of a guy who's in college, who knows a lot of level 1, D1 athletes and why they cleave to the white woman. And I'm going to let him go ahead through the explanation. And whether you believe his explanation or not is just as plausible, just as feasible as this sister's explanation is here. And she's just gaslighting the brother. Of course, when these kids are in college, they just started getting NILs. That's a new thing, right? So the money started coming in while they're still in college, but before, the white girls were still cleaving to them. Here's another thing: white girls were still getting married after college because when they go there, their parents tell them to find themselves a husband the best way they can. That doesn't say leave your career. It doesn't say that. They don't talk about, you must leave your career, but they say, hey, listen, while you're there, there's no better group of men available than when you're in college. You're never going to have that kind of access to the future leaders that you would have in college. I have 2 daughters. I told them the same thing. I said, listen, your Rolodex right now is the most important thing you have. Whether you get married or not, that's up to you. But you're not going to be around a more professionally bound group of men than you are when you're in college. And I certainly didn't tell my daughters, go ahead and live it up and have a whole phase. That shit comes from women. That doesn't come from men. When you told your daughters to go suck as much Johnson and do all that kind of stupid shit, and they're all traumatized after they take the energy of hundreds of dudes, and then you expect somebody at the finish line to dust them off, tell them it's going to be all better, and they're bringing all that trauma to the new man. That's the mistake that's being made. You know, that's my problem. You know, so, hey, man, what's going on, man? You want to come up, brother? Are you around? I'll send you the link if you're around. Yeah. What's happening? Yeah, what's going on, Red Planet? If you're there, man, click the link, brother. It's in there. If you're still around. So, I mean, I'm going to be talking about this on a Black Man Unfiltered Network on Monday. We're going to flesh this out, have a panel discussion, and talk about it from both sides. I'm going to invite some ladies up, and we're going to talk about this. But the next, I'm going to put up another brother who is going to tell you why he thinks that the brothers are cleaving to the snow bunnies when they're in college. All right, man, next time, bro. I hear you. Oh, yeah, you got one of those. You got a job. You talking to the retired man. Yeah, man, Red Planet. Anyway, man, so, yeah, listen in. Here's the next thing. I'm gonna share with you this brother giving the full explanation of why he thinks Black men are cleaving to the snow bunnies while they're in college. And here goes. So stay tuned.
College athletes that are getting drafted having white women. What's going on? I am going to tell you, as someone that is friends with a lot of D1 football players and D1 basketball players, I'm going to tell you because they have told me. Whoa. Before I get into this, I want to make it clear I'm only into Black women. I'm just telling you what they have told me. My man said, bro, how many white women have you seen do the Meg Thee Stallion challenge? And he said, excluding the ones that think they're 2 shades away from being Lotto. I said, probably only 1. I said, okay. Y'all, 5 of my guys that play on Division I Power 5 football teams, and they start. They were like, goody, you know the type of NIL deals we got. One of my men said, bro, I was messing with this Black girl. She heard about the deal I got and started to request money, Apple Pays and Cash Apps for her hair and nails. I said, oh shit. My other friends were saying, bro, I would try to take her out to Chipotle, Kava, this and that. She would get mad talking about, why are we going to steakhouses? You're good for it. I said, oh shit. They were like, bro, the white women, they're down to go and get a cup of coffee, go and get some fucking ice cream. My friends were like, bro, the white women we're dating, they pay for a lot of our stuff. I said, what do you mean? They said, bro, they know that we're making some money, but while we're at practice or we're at camp, they got us our favorite Kava bowl, double chicken, right? Waiting for them to come out of practice. My friends were telling me these girls are getting their group projects done, getting their essays done, online tests done on time. I said, wait, what? I said, bro, what about maintenance? There's no way y'all not paying for her hair, nails, bags, her lifestyle. He said, bro, first of all, my girl will get her own Starbucks and even get me one. But if I want to be nice, I'll get her something, from Starbucks. And they were like, hair and nails. They don't even care about the nails, really, And if they do it themselves. Sometimes I pitch in. And I was like, all right, what about hair? They were like, bro, she's white. She just brushes it. We're flat irons it. She wants to be special. So, Jesus Christ, you guys are saving a lot of money. One of my men said this. He just got drafted. He said, bro, I was dating a Black girl. Now I'm dating a white girl. And I'm about to marry her. He said, the difference between the Black girl and the white girl, the biggest difference is the white girl knows when to shut the fuck up. I said, God damn. Listen, this is what they told me. Do with the information as you please. If it takes me 10 to 15 years to find a Black woman that's compatible with me, that's what I'm going to do. But this is what they told me. So stop being surprised. Why are all these...
All right, so there you go. Whether you want to take this guy's word for it or not, it's plausible. It's absolutely plausible. We know about, the Black girl and the Black girl magic and how they put it on the brothers, right? When you need them to be quiet, they get louder. When you need them to listen, they don't. right? So the fact is that even the good women have to be retrained to understand what it is to be a good man's wife. So listen, I don't listen, you could make a case that the wealth of these athletes are going out, but that's not the only way we get to generational wealth, just by the millionaires. We need to start from the bottom up. We need to teach good financial aptitude from the beginning, whether you're rich or not. You don't have to be rich to start to build wealth in your family. You just have to be disciplined. You can't just buy everything at a whim. And the fact is that our spending as a Black community is out of control. Again, not just because of men, but mostly because of women, because you guys are the ones who spend more money than we do. A man who live in a hut until he gets married, and he'll buy a house for his family. But a wife will buy a house. A woman will buy a house just so she can flex. No family, no husband, no nothing. And now she got a liability that she might not be able to afford if times get bad because she's all by herself. So listen, all I'm just trying to say is we got to stop gaslighting the brothers because they choose to love the women who love them back. It's as simple as that. There's no way, Dr. Umar, until you marry one of your baby mamas, you should just shut the hell up. Right? Because I don't care what you're saying. As long as you're creating baby mamas out there, you ain't helping the community either. So where's the receipts on how great your daughters are doing without you in the home? So I don't want to hear none of that bullshit. You marry who you love and who loves you back. And the wealth, if you're a Black man and you impregnate any kind of woman, that kid's coming out, and in society's parlance, that kid's Black. Period. Whether they want to be or not. So that's my little take on this thing. We're going to talk about it on the Black Man Unfiltered Network on Monday at 7:00. This is going to be my return. I was off last Monday because me and my Black wife were hanging out for a weekend. So, but on Monday at 7:00, we're going to go ahead and flesh this out. And I'm willing to have, different opinions on this because this is just mine. But I don't think Black men owe the society or anybody a goddamn thing. Just be happy, brothers, and spend your money any way you want, and have the babies that you want to have, and don't let nobody put any pressure on you. The hell with that bullshit. All right, man. That's it. Our Pain, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. Over and out.